NXT Takeover in your house is live this Sunday, June 13th, 2021. We have a stacked card, Kevin. Stacked. Featuring Karrion Kross versus the all-star cast of Ring of Honor. We've got Cameron Grimes against LA Knight in a match that involves Ted DiBiase's dad. We've got Mercedes Martinez versus Zia Lee with Boa. And we have Raquel Gonzalez defending the Women's Championship against Ember Moon. Kevin, are you excited? Because boy, oh boy, I am.
Oh, I can't wait for this week's takeover, Maggle. I can't wait. Oh, it's gonna be a great night of action. I mean, like, bro, how could you not be excited? Mercedes Martinez versus Zia Lee? Oh my god, I mean, that's a main event anywhere in the world. Especially in NXT. And Zia Lee has been doing this BDSM gimmick. Like, who is not into that? I mean, it's the best gimmick to ever happen to NXT. It's unbelievable. This NXT is can't miss. I mean, we're gonna have a 5-way stacked match. It's gonna be 5.5 stars. We're gonna love it. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna see some flips and flops. God, I can't wait.
Kevin, I want to have a real honest, open dialogue in this preview, okay? Because 3 years ago, NXT, when it was in 2018, they had these like 3-month builds to takeovers. Every match felt like a big deal. If you made a takeover and you were on an NXT takeover, it was like a big legit achievement that you were making it in wrestling if you made a takeover. Now what we've got is a takeover within your house that was quite literally announced maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And they started actually building for this show legitimately about a week ago. And here we are. We've got a main event, Kevin, which I think we'll talk about this first, because as much as I know you're excited for Cameron Grimes and LA Knight, I think the main event deserves a bit more of attention. And plus, if we talked about Grimes and Knight or Martinez and Zia Lee, people would click off the video, Kevin, and we're all about watch time. So, Karrion Kross, Kyle O'Reilly, Cole Gargano, and Pete Dunne, Kevin. Fatal 5-way for the NXT Championship. Walk me through this one. Are you excited for this match, Kevin? Walk us through that, please.
I mean, in all seriousness, what does this match tell you? Basically, this tells you that none of these guys, none of the challengers, are big enough on their own, literally and figuratively. They're not big enough physically or big enough stars to pose as a credible challenge/threat to the champion Karrion Kross. Like, that's what I'm immediately being told when I see a 5-way for the NXT Championship, featuring, you know, some of the guys that could be on the Mount Rushmore of NXT, and Cole and Gargano. Then you have Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly, who've been fixtures of this PC era, the pandemic era NXT. Those guys have been faces. And yeah, I mean, realistically, like I said, Karrion Kross, he doesn't have anyone that could challenge him one-on-one. Like, you do Karrion Kross versus Kyle O'Reilly? Like, how are you gonna sell that? Where Kyle O'Reilly's doing like headbutts to Karrion Kross's shoulder, and we're gonna be like, oh wow, ooh, good move, very credible. Like, it doesn't really have a lot of credibility. You know, this match, like, I look at it, I'm just like, okay, this is a big flippy floppity match that the dirt sheets and the internet will love. Kyle O'Reilly might win, and then we'll get Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole feud for the NXT Championship. I really, to predict this, I don't really see Karrion Kross leaving with the title. I think Karrion Kross is on his way up to the main roster. But I could see him winning, but I just don't know realistically what's next for him if he does win.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Kevin, I'll tell you and explain to our loyal listeners what this match is. This match is essentially Triple H going, our audience loves these guys, Gargano, Cole, Dunne, O'Reilly. They're okay with Karrion Kross. Let's just throw them all into a match so we don't have to write a story for the match. They'll have a really good match where, regardless of what they do, we'll give them 30 minutes, and every reviewer with a channel will give this 5 stars. Every dirt sheet will give this 5 stars. And as a result, people will look back on this as a success. Even though there's no story, there's no real reason to care. It's just, oh, well, Kross is facing the best of Ring of Honor. Look, that's all it is. So, at the end of the day, I mean, Kross is too big for NXT the same way Reigns is too big for SmackDown as far as the rest of the competition. I think, as far as this match goes, O'Reilly winning is probably the best way of going about it. You have Kyle O'Reilly pin Johnny Gargano, and it's like, oh, there we go. I think that's the best way of doing it. Cross can, take an L without being pinned. He can move on. We can be left with Ring of Honor featuring a WWE logo for NXT. Cross can move on with Scarlett. We can be all good. And yeah, that's realistically what I think about the match, Kevin. Any more words in this one?
Yeah, I mean, before we transition to the next match, I'll just say this. This match, yeah, it'll be good. But is this a great NXT main event? Like, when you think about the glory days of NXT, does this match fall in line with what we saw in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, early 2019? In your opinion?
Well, look, the only one I compare this to would be NXT Takeover Fatal 4-Way, which was back in 2014, which was Neville, Zayn, Breeze, and Tyson Kidd in a 4-way. But with that, they built that for 3 months, and there were subplots to all of it. Neville wanted to remain, desperate to remain champion, that belt was everything to him. Sami Zayn was like desperate to overcome all the odds and become a babyface champion. Tyson Kidd would say fact, and you'd have Tyler Breeze there as well. So there was like some kind of story, and there was a build. With this, they're just throwing all the great NXT names into a match. And because Triple H knows, come take over in your house, these 5 men could all walk into the ring. Adam Cole could drop his dax, take a dump in the middle of the ring, leave, and people would still give this 5 stars. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, but I guess we'll move on to the next match. What do you want to talk about next? I guess we'll talk about the NXT Women's Championship. Raquel Gonzalez is defending her championship and she has Dakota Kai in her corner versus Ember Moon, who has Shotzi Blackheart in her corner. And there's not really much here. Ember Moon is someone that was around in NXT's glory days. She was kind of there. She wasn't a big star, but she had a little bit of a following. So it's great, Raquel Gonzalez gets a credible opponent. Prediction-wise, I probably see Dakota Kai turning on Raquel Gonzalez. Seems like the logical next step to have Raquel Gonzalez enter a more personal storyline with Dakota Kai. Ember Moon, it just feels like a one-off challenge for me. Where do you stand with this one?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. Like, you use the phrase, not much there. I think that really well describes most of this show, really. It's not much there. It's like, match will be good. I'm sure it gets a good star rating. Raquel will retain. Yeah, there might be some shenanigans with Dakota Kai, which could lead to Kai versus Gonzalez for the title. I see that happening potentially. And, that's the thing with NXT's women's division. There's just so many women. It's like, do I see Ember Moon being the one to beat Raquel? Not really. Like, when Ember Moon made her return to NXT at TakeOver 31, I remember there was like oh my god, Ember Moon's back, yay! And then she's just kind of been there since. So, yeah, I see Raquel retaining, Kevin. So, unless there's anything else you have to say about that one, we can move on.
Yeah, I think we can safely move on. So then there's Mercedes Martinez versus Zia Lee, with Boa and Mei Ying in her corner. I don't really know what to say about this one. Like, Mercedes Martinez, what I can say is Mercedes Martinez is someone that a lot of people like, and Zia Lee too is someone that a lot of people like. Now, for completely different reasons, they like each woman. But this is kind of like, I guess, a #1 contenders match almost. I don't really know why this is on a takeover. When you look at this card without any context, this doesn't feel like a takeover match, in all honesty. Like, maybe we're gonna have some more matches announced after tonight's NXT. We're recording this before tonight's episode of NXT, so maybe we'll get some more matches announced for the card. But this feels like one that I guess will just be thrown in as the opener. So this could kind of have like a main roster feel where they have like 2 or 3 women's matches, championship matches, all this and that. And yeah, really not much here for me for this one.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, NXT's got such a good women's division, and yet, like, this is the match you're doing that isn't the women's title. Like, the whole storyline with Zia Lee, and they're watching tape of like a loss featuring Martinez, and they're referencing back to this match 4 years ago, and it's like, okay, I'm sure the long-term storytelling heads love this. I think Zia Lee, after seeing one forum post from like last year about Zia Lee and like the way she is a fan of the performance, and oh my god, the way she taps the glass is just so beautiful. I love Zia Lee. Like, some of the things I've seen about Zia Lee is just creepy. So that inhibits my ability to really invest myself in this, because I see some of the stuff at ZLE is like, it's just like the elected list stuff in a way. So yeah, with that being said, I see ZLE getting the win here. Yeah. Anything else, or can we move on to Grimes and Knight, pal?
No, let's move on. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Cameron Grimes is taking on LA Knight. This one, at least there's a kind of story that you could talk about. They're doing the whole thing with Ted DiBiase Sr., Cameron Grimes being some rich, I guess, stocks lord who's made a bunch of money, and I like it. The fact that Cameron Grimes went from a guy who would literally come out, be like, Cameron Grimes, and then he'd just lose, and it's like, okay, there was that. Now he has this thing where he's like, the $1 million man's associated with him. He's like rich. It's something, Kevin. In NXT, there's not much, so this is something I can get behind it. This match versus LA Knight. LA Knight's a fan favorite, Kevin. Like, what do you think of LA Knight?
I'm not a huge fan of LA Knight. What the hell? Hold on. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, all good. All good.
My
now
phone is singing. I don't know what's going on.
Oh god, this is, you can tell this is being recorded and live. Please, we won't edit this out. We'll keep this in for all our late hate diehards. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess I said something that triggered Siri, and now music is playing. Hold on. Okay. All right. Continue. Ask that question again. Yeah.
So there's been a lot made about LA Knight, formerly Eli Drake. Anti-Smarks love him. No, Smarks, I don't even really know or care what they think about him. What are your thoughts on LA Knight, Kevin? Just walk us through that.
I think he's okay. Like, I've seen a couple promos of his from Impact, and like, oh, okay, there's something there. This guy could be something. But then he comes in with just a name like LA Knight, like, I mean, come on. That name, you're not going to go anywhere with that kind of name, right? Like, realistically. Like, you're going to put LA Knight on a billboard, on a poster. Like, oh, it's WWE's LA Knight on Jimmy Fallon. Like, that name is just, God, I mean, you're saddled with a bad name there. But yeah, you have Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight. An upper mid-card match. Okay, this could be LA Knight's coming out party. A rumor is that the $1 Million Championship is coming back. Woo! Great. So Ted DiBiase will be there in some way, shape, or form. We saw him a couple weeks back on NXT.
Yeah, he's been involved in the storyline. He's been making appearances. Yeah.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah. He's been there for the storyline. I don't really understand how Cameron Grimes having like a music video and hitting some GameStop stocks, how that correlates with the $1 Million Man. Like, someone has to connect those dots for me. It doesn't make any sense from my perspective, but it does give NXT something with a little bit more of like an entertainment feel, and I'll applaud that.
Oh, for sure. And I just want to mention with LA Knight, I'm confident Triple H is fully aware when he gave LA Knight that name, that's going to pigeonhole him, because LA Knight actually looks like a star and can cut promos like a star. So that threatens Triple H's ego, and accordingly he gives him a name like that. And so he's just inherently not going to go anywhere above a mid-card level. I am adamant. Like, that's what Triple H does best, holds down legit stars. So that's
that's why WWE's gonna. That's why Vince is gonna sell WWE, because he knows he can't leave it in Triple H's hands. Because, you know, if Triple H is the guy in charge of WWE after Vince is gone, the main event of WrestleMania 45 is going to be Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole.
Oh, look at this! What is this? Like, this is NXT Takeover. This is Triple H's great creation, and our main event is one legit star against just 4 random guys, and on that a week and a half build. And you want Triple H running this company? Oh, get out of here, dude! So, yeah, that's the current announced matches. And then some other matches that they're most definitely going to do. They're going to most likely do an MSK tag team title match. Most likely against Wild and, whoever the other guys. I don't even care. MSK are going to retain tag belts, Kevin. Any differing opinion about that?
No, nothing. We'll have Bronson Reed defend the North American Championship. Maybe against Johnny Gargano. We'll have Gargano do double duty there, pal. Now Gargano with his headband, and your favorite wrestler, Indy Hartwell, will accompany him to the ring not once but twice tonight on this night. And yeah, Bronson Reed will squash Johnny Gargano in preparation for his 5-way match.
Now, I watched them do Bronson Reed, aka the wrestling otaku, aka Australia's greatest wrestler, Bronson Reed. Watch him squash like Austin Theory in like a 10-minute match, and that's what they'll do with the North American title. So that's going to take over in your house. To wrap this up in a nice, clean black and gold bow, This show is NXT's worst built takeover far and away. Even less builds gone into this than Takeover 31, which had 2.5 weeks build back in September last year. Overall, this show should have some good matches. It should have a main event that will be given 5 stars by every Slideshow reviewer. But at the end of the day, is there a reason to care? No, just a bunch of matches thrown together because that's what Triple H does best, pal. The man who should not take over WWE, all of that. So that's going to be the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Kevin, do you have any more closing words about this amazing takeover we've got in store on Sunday?
I have to pose this question for all the listeners, and we'll end the show with this. Triple H is a icon in WWE. I don't understand how he can go from making an appearance at an NBA playoff game and then just go do the complete opposite of what he is. Like, he's a mainstream figure out here at an NBA game, crotch chopping Joel Embiid, and then he's like, yeah, I don't want any of my wrestlers to have that kind of exposure. You know, I want Adam Cole to be as boring as possible, Kyle O'Reilly to be as boring as possible, and yeah, it's just, I don't understand it. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of this prediction. The end of this prediction video. Thank you all to our loyal Elite Heat viewers for checking this out.